You know, I've often dreamed about hunting in such a place. It just seems like such a far off reality. You know, you look at Hudson Bay on a map, you know, logistics wise, it just looks like such a difficult trip to ever accomplish. You know, I remember growing up and, you know, reading about, you know, stories of people that hunted geese up here in particular, using dead geese as decoys and propping the heads up with willow sticks, and reading about the native guides calling in geese with their mouth. And I always thought this would be just the most incredible place to ever hunt geese. Take them, guys. Well, we flew up into a pretty incredible place. We're basically on the edge of the Arctic Circle up in Hudson Bay. If you love to waterfowl hunt, this is ground zero for sure.
Well, Kaska is a very unique experience. We're located about a mile off the coast of Hudson Bay in northern Manitoba. We're here in the tundra, and it's an all-inclusive package. We fly our guests in from Winnipeg, and we usually do either 4 or 5 day hunts, and it's mainly snow geese, but we do have a good population of Canada geese, some ducks, and ptarmigan as well. We have a short operating season. We run from about Labor Day through basically the 3rd or 4th week of September, and then we're done. A lot of nature viewing opportunities here. We see polar bears, we have black bears, we have wolves, woodland caribou, moose, Arctic foxes. Nature viewing as well as a hunting experience. We do have a Bell Long Ranger helicopter based here, which gives added flexibility for the hunters. And you get the opportunity to fly out and view polar bears from a safe distance.
First few days in camp, we just hunted close to the main camp here, and there's a lot of different places you can go. I mean, there's just birds all around you. You know, we took Argos out across the tundra, and it's just grass and swamp and reindeer moss, and you know, just a lot of different types of plants that I'd never seen before, and it was pretty neat. I often thought that the wind could blow in North Dakota, but you get out on the Hudson Bay off the tundra, and that wind's blowing across that ocean. It is unbelievable.
We come across some polar bear tracks. Look at the size of this thing compared to my hand.
You can see out in front of us here how low the tide is. That's the Arctic Ocean out in front of us here. Tide will come up all the way up to the beach here, but just amazing to see the rocks out there and the big waves off in the distance out here. But right here, this is just a big hole the polar bears dig, and evidently they dig these holes to stay cool in the summertime, but pretty fascinating place. As you can probably imagine, just from the logistics, you're not setting out big decoy spreads out here. You're just lucky to have any decoys, and so, you know, just a few dozen decoys, all you can get into such a place. Obviously, you're not going to find pits up here. You're not going to be able to get layout blinds or anything else up here. And so, you know, you just make do, and you just, you know, build a blind with whatever cover you can find. And so we just snipped off willow branches and, you know, made some pretty good hides for ourselves. It was just an amazing experience.
Let's get set up.
Take them.
Down, go for it. Let's do it. The far north has always been an allure for me and a go-to bucket list, whatever you want to call it. A dream spot, really, honestly. And Jason asked me, hey, I've got a chance to go up to Kaska, and if you're a waterfowl hunter, you know Kaska. I mean, There's not a lot of northern camps, especially in Hudson Bay, that are still doing these hunts, and Kaska is kind of like the king of it and a pretty famous lodge. So I jumped at the opportunity to say I had a chance to come up here.
Take him. Get him, get him, get him.
Get ready, get ready.
Well, you never get tired of that. Kind of a variety up here. We've seen ducks, we've seen pintails, black ducks, mallards, widgeon, green-winged teal, a few divers and a few mergansers. We've seen roskies, snows and blues, lesser Canadas, cacklers, really a lot of variety, more variety than what I envisioned. You know, like a lot of people, I've hunted waterfowl long enough to be humiliated and humbled. And I'm sure you can relate to this. I mean, we've all had those mornings where we woke up at 3 in the morning to get to the right field. We get out to the right field, we send out 1,000 decoys. We lay there, the sun's shining. There's 5,000 geese 2 miles away doing their thing, and not a single goose looks at you. And you have to pick up all those decoys, and picking them up, it's quiet, nobody's talking. This is where you come up to get redemption. This is where you come up to get even. That's the allure of this place.
If you have a group of guys that want to come up, this is extreme hunting. This is top of the list. If there's a bucket list for goose hunting, this is it. With the option of going out and catching some nice brook trout, it doesn't get any better than this, guys.
There's a stream that runs right next to the lodge, and in this stream, wild runs of Arctic Ocean brook trout come in and spawn in the fall. And in a lot of places around the country, if you catch a 14, 15, 16-inch brook trout, that's a big fish. Out here, these ocean run fish, they get a lot bigger, and so you can catch brook trout that are over 20 inches, and they're just beautiful fish. You just cast small spoons, spinners, catch fish, and you can walk to a couple of holes right from the lodge here, walking distance, and catch fish. Definitely something to kill your afternoons with, you know, tremendous fish. There's people that come up here just for the fishing alone. You know, if you forget your fishing rod or forget your tackle, they have some stuff here, but if you just pack a couple of small spoons, a couple of small spinners, it doesn't take much to catch these fish.
Great, I tell you what, this is pretty neat. You get to come up here and ride a helicopter and go kill snow geese. It doesn't get any better than that. What's really cool about this Bell Long Ranger is that we get a view of the tundra up here.
You know, I never imagined doing something like this in a million years. It's just incredible. You know, you're in a beautiful, remote place. It's just so rugged and raw. And then to explore that, when you use a helicopter, you know, when you get into some of these areas to hunt snow geese, and we're going to be some of the first people these snow geese ever see, you know, for some of these juvenile birds. It's definitely the top of the migration, no doubt about that. Well, on the third day of our hunt, the weather broke and we were able to take the helicopter out. And I tell you what, that helicopter adds a cool factor to hunting that, I mean, it was just incredible. And so get in the helicopter and just the view you get, where you can see the Arctic Ocean, you can see the tundra, you know, we were flying over polar bears, and we probably flew for about 15 to 20 minutes, and we just started seeing all these snow geese and black geese, and it was just an amazing experience. It's definitely one of the coolest waterfowl hunts that I've ever been on.
When we went on the hunt with the helicopter, we basically have to bring everything we're gonna go with that day. All of our decoys, our guns, our ammo, everything we're thinking we're gonna need, blinds, etc. And we probably had 2 bags of windsocks. You don't need to have a lot of decoys. You can come up with the bare minimums. These geese have not been shot at before. It's kind of neat stuff and everything in there. You get up there, unload, and you just walk out, set up a blind, and start hunting.
We're not that far from the ocean here. You can see it right behind us here. These birds are just following along this beach. They're flying so low, it's just unbelievable. And basically, you can imagine, because of logistics, taking a helicopter in here, your decoy spread has to fit in a backpack or a duffel bag. So we're just using some Dakota windsocks we use back home. We're mixing in a few real geese silhouettes. Boy, we probably have 40 decoys out at the most. Got 1 flyer. You can use e-collars up here for snow geese. Front birds are sliding on us, but these back ones are going to come by right here in front of us. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Get ready, right off my corner here. Take them, take them. Hey. You know what, I'm loving this black cloud. I'm shooting BBs, just 3-inch. And it is working good. What a day. There's just a whole new element of cool factor to this. Take them, take them, take them, guys, take them. We got one coming right off the corner here. Take them. Nice shot, Jason. Can't control the weather. The first few days we've been up here, we've been just dealing with wind and rain, and they didn't even want to fly the choppers. And so we've been just taking the Argos out close. We've been shooting a few birds, and you know, we've shot in a variety of birds, and it's been decent hunting, but this right here, this is what makes this trip epic. I mean, it's just, when you can take a helicopter up into this place where, you know, where basically where the birds are, and you just get away from everything. This is just so remote. That's why we're here. Take. Right here, right here, right here. Take them, guys. Beautiful adult snow. What's amazing about this is that we're seeing all adult birds. We haven't seen a single juvenile. You know, considering that everything has to get flown in up here, gas, food, you know, everything. And so, you know, whatever you see at this lodge was flown up on an airplane. You know, obviously it makes things a lot tougher. And so, you know, considering how difficult it is to get here, you know, I couldn't believe how nice the cabins were. The food was tremendous. I mean, it was just top notch. You know, they just run a really tight ship here, and it's a special place if you love to hunt waterfowl. You know, so talk about a change, you know, where, you know, back home, you know, we have geese that roost on water, then they'll go out into cornfields, they'll go out into wheat fields to eat, and they'll go out in the morning, then they'll go back out in the evening. And maybe later in the year, you might have birds that'll come out later, but they'll only come out once a day. Up here, you know, everything that we ever learned about hunting snow geese, you could throw it right out the window. These birds would actually roost on this big sand dune that separated the tundra from the Arctic Ocean. They would roost there, then they'd fly out into the low tundra to get fresh water. And once those birds got fresh water, they'd fly even further inland, and a lot of times they'd be eating blueberries, they'd be eating wild celery. And these birds would fly all day. You know, we'd have breakfast at 5:30 in the morning, and we'd probably get set up probably, I'm guessing, an hour after sunrise, and the birds would pretty much fly all day. And you know, it was just completely different than anything that we'd ever experienced back home.
Now,
Better do it.
well, that was unbelievably perfect. You know, all that whole big group of Canada's just all set their wings at the exact same time and just luffed it in perfect right into the kill zone. Game over. Now. Oh yeah. Oh, we got all out of the way. Oh, here we go again. Walkabout time.
And so I brought a case of ammo up. That Federal Black Cloud and that Triple B, no matter if I'm up here or back home, that's just a deadly goose load. And biggest thing is consistency, where you want to keep shooting the same load all the time so you understand the pattern and understand the lead. Take him, take him, take him! Take them.
Biggest challenge was really being in a place they wanted to be. These birds are going into the lowlands and they're eating celery and other vegetation that they're consuming. So you got to be where they're at, but there's a lot of that. Okay, so you're not going to really get the corner on the market of the as far as the feed field goes. So now you just have to be in a traffic area basically and be in the zone, and that's the hard part. Okay, so that's where the helicopter really got us dialed into the hot spot. Is he put us right in the middle of that stuff, and we just were in an area where there was a lot of birds and a lot of traffic.
Take them. Take them.
We walk around and the ground is super soft, permafrost. You see all the goose tracks and the duck tracks in the mud. Just an amazing place.
Anyway, this has been an epic adventure, something I've dreamed of my whole life. Good friends, incredible place. We flew over polar bears on the way out here. Great day of goose hunting. We battled tough weather. We've had some adversity up here, which I think you're gonna. I mean, the wind always blows. The weather's always changing. What an incredible place. I don't think we ever saw a goose that was more than 50 yards off the ground. You know, they're just trading back and forth in these small groups.
I know we want to thank you for bringing us along, Jason.
Hey, no, thank you.
Hunt.
It was a
great experience. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. So this is really neat.
Hunt of a lifetime.
Something I'll remember the rest of my life, that's for sure.